Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the meeting. I hope you enjoyed playing the first set of news vendor tasks. So now in the next 5 to 10 minutes, I'll just give you a kind of debrief as well as prepare you for the next set of news vendor decisions that you will be making. So as you know, you've made some 20 decisions. Every participant here has made 20 news vendor decisions, and all of you were asked to make two kinds of service level decisions. About 10 of the decisions were what we call in-stock probability, and the other half of the decisions, the other 10 decisions were fill rate decisions. So deliberately, we hadn't given too much detail. We had just given a one sentence definition of each of these measures. So that's something I'm going to elaborate. And in a while, I'll tell you why I'm elaborating this, what is the purpose of this study. So in industry, service level is a very commonly used term, not just in inventory management settings, but also in call center industries, a lot of service industries, IT industry. And service level is not a unidimensional metric. There can be multiple meanings to it. And our hunch is when people use this term, they don't always mean the same thing. There can be cases where different people mean different things. They have different things in mind. This leads to some confusion, some misunderstanding. So to get back to our news vendor task, as I said, you have made two decisions, that is in-stock probability and fill rate. Let me just elaborate a little more on what exactly these two terms mean. And then through the simulation that you can see on this screen, we will develop better intuition about the relationship between these two metrics. So the formal definition of in-stock probability is something that you are extremely familiar with by now. You have also watched the news vendor tutorial. So in-stock probability is simply the probability that you are going to fulfill all of the asked quantity. Now, what does this mean? Suppose the demand came to be 500, and suppose you had only stocked 400 and suppose you had stocked 499. Now, am I able to fulfill all of the demand this time? No, right? So out of 500, I have only fulfilled 499. So this doesn't count. So I have not fulfilled all of the demand. Whereas the definition of fill rate is what fraction of the demand have I fulfilled? So if you look at the normal curve, you'll see what happens with fill rate is, suppose the demand quantity is 500 and you had stocked 499. For all practical purposes, you have fulfilled almost all of the demand, right? So this is like 99.8% of the demand you have fulfilled. So the intuition here is fill rate seems to be a higher number quantitatively than the corresponding service level decision, the service level, the in-stock probability decision. What I mean by that is in-stock probability is a very ruthless metric compared to the fill rate. Let me put some numbers using this simulation and develop this intuition. Now, why it is important to understand these terms? It is important because there are different settings where either of these metrics make more sense. To give a specific example, suppose you are a retailer who has, think of any retail grocery store where they have, stocked a certain number of cakes, let's say 100 cakes, which is a perishable commodity. The demand for cakes in a retail store is not going to come in the entire lot size of 100 or such big numbers, right? The consumption, the individual customer orders are going to come in ones and twos. So the retailer is likely to have a very good understanding of the fill rate. What is the percentage of the total demand that I was able to fulfill? But in-stock probability is not a very useful metric. It is not like how many times was I able to fulfill the entire demand. That question doesn't seem to make so much sense in this setting. So whereas you consider the upstream players in the supply chain, suppose you are a manufacturer of fasteners, nuts and bolts, and an aircraft has, let's say, 10,000 fasteners. Now, if the airline comes for major overhaul and they want 10,000 fasteners, they place a demand for 10,000 fasteners. You can't say, no, no, I've got only 9,990 fasteners. That's not going to work, because the airline is not going to buy two different kinds of fasteners. That it doesn't, the industry doesn't work that way. When they ask for 10,000, you need to fulfill all of 10,000. Otherwise, they'll go for another source, because they want all the material, all the components to be of uniform uh, quality and source. So here the in stock probability makes more sense, because it is either you fulfill all of the demand, only then you will be rewarded, otherwise you lost business. So there are contexts or circumstances where either of the metric makes more sense, more intuitive sense, and we need to understand both of them. So let's use the simulator to develop the intuition. Now let's look at a standard mu and sigma kind of parameters. Let's say the mu is 2500, and standard deviation, these are the numbers that you have also played with. So I'm setting standard deviation as 500. So with this set of parameters, uh, what I have plotted here is, in this graph is, you see the various order quantities here. The order quantities have been the corresponding, they've been transformed into the z scores. So on the x-axis you have z score, which is a proxy for order quantity. So what this graph is plotting is, suppose I had ordered 0 units. What is my in stock probability, and what is the corresponding fill rate? This is what these two graphs are. The red line is the fill rate, and the in stock probability is the blue line. So let's look at 2500. Suppose I had ordered or stocked 2500. If this is the mu and sigma, what is my in stock probability? My in stock probability is 50%. Now, what is the corresponding Z value? Now, Z value is right at the middle, right? It is mu. Your order quantity coincides with the mu. So, the Z score is 0. So, where is 0? 0 is somewhere here. So, this line. So, your in stock probability is exactly 50%, but you look at fill rate. Fill rate is almost 92%. So, the interesting things you will observe here is, now suppose I had stocked, let's say 2000. If you had stocked 2000, your in stock probability is 15%, 16%. So, 16% is the probability that you will fulfill all of the uh, demand. The corresponding fill rate is 78%. Why is 78% higher than 16%? Because with fill rate, even if the demand comes, you have stocked 2000. If the demand comes 2500, you are still meeting more than 95% of the demand. Even if the demand comes to 25%, you are still fulfilling 80% of the demand. Whereas with in stock probability, any demand that exceeds 2000 doesn't give you in stock. You are out of stock. You are unable to fulfill all of the demand. So these numbers, in stock probability numbers, are always, for most reasonable number combinations, they are lagging, or they are less than the fill rate. So let's look at this graph. For 50%, you saw 50% in stock probability, the corresponding fill rate is 90%. So what you'll see here is, in the middle there is a huge gap. At high levels of in stock probability, they converge, but by and large, you see, and the difference between and of course, if you stock 0, then also both the curves are converging at this point. If you stock so little, then there is no way either of these numbers will be anything other than 0. If you stock very low quantity, you may be able to fulfill 5%, 10% of the demand. So the fill rate has some reasonably small numbers, like 20%, 30%. Whereas the probability of fulfilling all of the demand, if you have such a small order quantity, suppose you had stocked only 100, and you are lucky the demand also came very little, 110, but still your in stock probability didn't count. If her demand is 110, it means you did not fulfill all of the demand. So your in stock is still 0, but fill rate, you are still filling a fraction of the demand. So what you need to remember here is fill rate is a much higher number. So you can either place orders, when you place orders, when you make service level decision, you can either ask for 80% fill rate or 30% in stock probability. And what we find is invariably in industry, in academia, people are more intuitively find in stock probability easy to compute, because you just have to look at the normal table and compute. But in the industry, fill rate is a more widely used, more intuitive thing, because in a large settings, large number of settings, as I said, as I gave you some examples, it makes more, it is more makes more business sense to me to know how much of the demand have I fulfilled, because fulfilling the demand is what earns me money, rather than knowing how many times or what is the probability that I fulfill all of the demand. For all practical purposes, if the demand is 10,000, if I'm able to fulfill 9999, I'm happy in most cases, unless it is a critical component such as the aircraft example that I gave. So what I want you to leave, what I want to leave you with is fill rate numbers. The correspondence is like this: a small in stock probability can still lead to a fairly high fill rate, but the gap between them is not always fixed. It's not like, I'll just add 10% to in stock probability to get the fill rate. It's not like that. It depends on where you are on the curve. So here the gap is very vast. It's like 40 percentage points, no, 60 percentage points in the middle, whereas as you go to the extremes, they kind of converge. So you can try and remember this figure. Now this is for a fairly high standard distribution or dispersion. Now let's see what happens if the standard deviation is low. For a tighter normal curve, this is how the graph looks like. The gap, in fact, seems to have increased. So for any order quantity below minus 2.5, that is for any order quantity below about 2000, your in stock probability is practically zero, but fill rate is still substantial, 70, 80%, 90%. So you can see that, and then they begin to converge after a fairly high order quantity. So to summarize, fill rate for most reasonable mu and sigma combinations, mu will be higher than, so the fill rate will be higher than the in stock probability. So I can play a few more simulations with you. So I'll start with the lowest figure, let's say 100. That is, mu is 1/25 of the sigma is 1/25 of the mu. Then 200, then 300, then 500, then 800. Sigma higher than 800,000 becomes rarer and rarer. This, now we are talking about very unreasonably high standard deviation, doesn't have too much practical implications. Anything more than 1000, I think, is not a very realistic case, but to develop intuition, I can go on. Okay, so with this, I'll stop the simulation. So now you have developed a good understanding of both the service level metrics. So in industry, as I said, people may be using either in stock probability or fill rate when they say I want a high service level. So now, armed with this better understanding, I would like you to go back to the simulation. You have a second set of simulations. So I have just sent you a fresh file. You can play this second game. I've sent the fresh file by email. Just check your email IDs, mailbox. And now you'll play the second game. And just like the previous one, take about 10-15 minutes, play the game and email it back to us like before. Okay, with that, I'll leave you. Good luck. I'm stopping the screen share and closing the meeting.